Joining me now, Senator Roger Marshall, a Republican from Kansas, also a doctor. Good to have you with us, Senator. Look, TDS, it's a real thing. I mean, this is an incurable malady, it appears, Senator.
Yeah, it does. President Trump is spot on there. Look, Chuck Schumer is the overlord of obstruction. He wakes up every morning. He's running for his political life. He's looking at AOC over his shoulder. And he asks himself, what can I do to mess with President Trump today? Well, this month is trying to shut down the government. So that's his goal. My challenge up here, our challenge is how do we work towards a balanced budget, but keep the government open at the same time? And I have confidence we're going to do that. But this is all about, can we outmaneuver Chuck Schumer here as he tries to obstruct the Trump agenda?
You know, Senator, the majority leader, John Thune, catching a little bit of flack from MAGA world over the lack of movement on some of these confirmations of the president's team. Are we going to see this? Are we going to see the pace quicken now that the senators are back in Washington?
Yeah, you're spot on here. This is more of the obstruction by Chuck Schumer that President Trump has confirmed maybe half the number compared to previous presidents at this point in time by something we call unanimous consent. So we've had to stay late at night, work weekends, very willing to do that, but we can't keep this up. The Democrats are forced us to make a rules change here in the Senate. We're going to be presenting that to the American public the end of this week, the first of next week, to be able to crunch down the amount of debate time on the Senate floor. I won't bore you. We'll have to get 10 lawyers in here to explain it to me even, but we're going to find a way to get this done and allow us to move on. And again, the Democrats are forcing us to do this. We'd like to do things on a bipartisan basis, but again, Chuck Schumer looking over his shoulder, worried about his next election.
So when we're talking about this looming shutdown of the government, we've seen this happen. We know how the game is played here. The reality, though, the American people are really frustrated, and they want to see the Republicans especially take a stand here and push back against the Democrats. Are we going to see that happen?
I think you're seeing that every day, and John Thune is leading that fight. And I just wish you could see how hard he is fighting up here for the American public as well. But unfortunately, on the Senate side, for most things, it takes 60 votes. Regardless of what you want to do or how you want to spin this, it's going to take 60 votes to get some type of budget across the Senate floor. So we have to find a way to work with them as well. They're licking their wounds right now. They don't have any leadership. They don't have a plan. So they're doing everything they can, and the next thing they do, try to obstruct us, is this. But I can assure you, we're up here working our tails off fighting for President Trump's agenda.
Senator, I don't know if you saw the Mediaite headline yesterday. I never thought I'd see your name in a headline with monkeypox, but you made a little bit of news yesterday over your comments regarding monkeypox. I wanted to give you a chance to respond to the attacks coming out of Mediaite.
Well, I haven't paid much attention to that, but just to set the record straight on monkeypox, is this a sexually transmitted disease? And just a couple years ago, the CDC tried to scare us, thinking everybody in the country needs to go get a monkeypox vaccine now, but they didn't bother to tell you that this is a disease basically of homosexual men. It is just that very, very simple. And my point, it was in the context of some of these people that have resigned, along with Dr. Moneras at the CDC, were the people that were pushing that agenda a couple years ago. This is why Secretary Kennedy is out there saying, look, we need transparency out of the CDC. We need leadership there that's going to focus on telling the Americans the rest of the story, the whole story right now, and most of us don't have to worry about monkeypox.
No, well, it's true, we don't. And I think, Senator, the broader issue here is that they have weaponized for political purposes the CDC. Out of all the agencies, that's the one that should not be politicized.
Exactly. So we're spending $8 billion on a year on vaccinations. We're forcing our kids to get 76 jabs by the time they're able to vote. And all we're asking is to say, look, let's wait a second. What are all the interactions of this? Why does a one-day-old need a hepatitis B vaccination? When I tested his mom, and as you mentioned, I'm a doctor, I deliver babies. I've already tested his mom. She's in a stable relationship. She's not doing IV drugs. This baby has zero chance of having hepatitis. So why are we giving that vaccination at 1 day of age? And that's the transparency I think Secretary Kennedy wants out of the CDC, to be able to share that information with parents so the parents, the doctor can make this decision together. I think that's why she was let go, that she wasn't sharing that same mission of transparency. Thanks so much.
All right, Senator, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you very much, Senator Roger Marshall. Folks, stay with us.